Who doesn't want to see Christopher Walken as a scary, headless comic book villain? DC Studios is ready to dump a ton of money into special effects for their streaming series. Valve may pull Randy's favorite games from their catalog. And this sequel goes to 11. All this and more on Cutting Edge Hero Live. Welcome to Cutting Edge Hero! I am the Nerd King, Danny Stewart, your host for this and most episodes of Cutting Edge Hero. I am so excited to be here with you guys today. Joey is unfortunately out with poison ivy. Rest well, recover quickly, you beautiful, beautiful angel without wings. Also joining me here today, my co-host, and as I previously stated, the peanut butter to my jelly, Landon. What is up, Landon? How you doing?
I'm doing good. Your mic's cutting in and out just a little bit, which is kind of disorienting for me and possibly the viewers. But other than that, I'm doing just peachy.
Really? Randy, what have you done? Anyway, we are also joined by the taco to my quesadilla. No. I immediately realized why that was bad, and I'm sorry. Jen, how are you doing, Jen?
It's better when you bring attention to
it. I'm great. What was
that? Nothing. At least I didn't say burrito.
That sounds okay.
Good save.
The sausage to my fresh clams.
Backsliding.
The sword to my Georgia O'Keeffe painting. Jen, how are you today?
I'm good. Thanks. I'm good.
Oh shit. I wish Eric was in the comments right now. Anyway,
agree.
He's off being a great dad and parenting your children while I'm
agreed. Kelvin. No, it's all bad. Abort.
Abort mission.
Oh. Anyway,
all this and less on Cutting Edge Hero Live.
Jen, now that your face is bright red, how are you doing?
I'm good. I'm awesome. Thanks.
Good. And we also have the technical director, the pumpkin to my pie.
I'll be your taco if you want me to.
Randy Tapley.
I'm just excited to be. I made it into the intro.
Randy, how you doing today?
Doing great. Excited
Danny's
that I made it into your intro.
I did not, and I should have. Anyway, sorry. That was meant to be wholesome, and I apologize, everyone. Anyway, moving along. Guys, we have a great show for you today. We are going to be talking about some of, but not all, the news in the bullet points. And then we are introducing a new segment called Media Redux. I don't know. We'll figure that out as we go. That Landon will be presenting to us. But before we do all of that, let's talk about the nerdiest things we've done this week. Jen, why don't you lead us off? What's the nerdiest thing you've done this week?
Well, like Randy said, I had kind of a nerdapalooza week.
Oh, I love that.
I love that our audience is like the perfect intersection of food nerds and perverts.
Yeah.
So this type of joke is like the perfect cross section for that.
Yeah.
I'm always fresh and well baked.
Yeah. The horny comments are always very popular, and then the food discussions are always very popular. And yeah, if we can just
somehow harness that and combine them as we just did. Anyway, Jen?
So I had a Nerdapalooza, as Randy said, this week. So Saturday, as Willie pointed out, we did play Nox Eterna with our awesome Zone family. Kaylee, Willie, me, Joe, Eric, Rob. We all had a blast. It was 5 hours of super awesome gaming. We can't wait for to go again. We have lots of sites of going on. It's
The
awesome.
campaign's great, and I love watching it, and you guys have a blast doing it, and that's what's awesome about it.
Thanks. Yeah,
Max said this is the new Randy 2 beers. I don't know if you saw that. Cracking me up. I apologize. Carry on.
Okay. Monday, I got to hang out with Kelvin over in the No Gimmicks podcast, and I did another React video with him, so that was a blast. And oh my gosh, I've been playing so many video games this week. I've been 7 Days to Die, it's addictive, and I try not to. And Eric's like, "Hey, I got this new mission." I was like, "Damn it, okay, I'm in." Fuck. So
yeah, all Eric has to do is give me the eye, and I'm in. So he's like, and I'm like, "Let's go." Landon, what is the nerdiest thing you've done this week?
All right, so I have been reliving part of my childhood, and I've gotten back into a game from when I was a wee lad called Fossil Fighters.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's a game where you dig up dinosaur fossils, revive them, and fight with them.
I'm going to write this down so I can tell Damien about it. Say Fossil Fighters?
Fossil Fighters. It was for the Nintendo DS.
Okay. Good to know.
I'm glad you asked, because I thought it was Fossil Finders.
I also thought that at first.
I mean, you do have to find the fossils, and then you revive the fossils.
And then you make them punch each other.
Yeah.
That's cool. Is it like claymation like Clay Fighters was, or is it?
No, it is like very... it is the best 3D the Nintendo DS can do.
Yeah, I'm going to have to look it up.
I see another. I don't know if this is from the same company, but it's where you get the fossils and then you make them kiss. It's called Fossil Fuckers. I don't think that's probably not available on Steam, is it?
We'll get into that later.
Listen, if they come for the Fossil Fuckers, I am taken to the goddamn streets. You hear me?
Oh shit, Randy, what's the nerdiest thing you've done this week?
I've done a couple of nerdy things this week. RuneScape came out with a new quest, and I laid in my bed and played on my phone for like 2 hours this morning, doing the quest. And then I'll let you kind of talk about the one that we share, and then this is probably the stupidest and nerdiest thing I did this week. Yesterday, I was driving for work, and I was listening to music. I was listening to The Wizard and I from Wicked. And I started cracking myself up, singing out loud as Elmo instead of Elphaba. And Elmo talks in the third person. So instead of The Wizard and I, it's The Wizard and Elmo. And that doesn't really work in the context of the song whenever he says The Wizard and I, or she says The Wizard and I. But it's still really fun. And it works. She says I and me a lot more than you think in that. And it's real funny to think about Elmo singing it.
And what are the odds that we can get there's a couple of bars of this, Randy?
I don't know if I could do it.
No.
You can. You totally can. I believe in
I
you.
was trying to do it earlier, and I was like, I don't think I have it today.
Okay. He's
Maybe
not
someday.
He's not comfortable with it. That's okay. What is it? CJ said we should do some Elmo / Meatwad duets, Randy.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah. I'm in.
That would be
Okay, cool.
I'm getting a bunch of duets, Randy, in the comments.
Hey, if you want to do it, but don't feel the need to cave to peer pressure.
We'll see.
If I learned anything from Dare, it's that drugs are everywhere and people will give them to you for free. But secondly, don't cave to peer pressure.
It becomes so much worse when I'm not in my car alone. When I
do you want us to look away?
I'm the same way about masturbation.
Here, we can turn. Look.
Yeah, we can all look away.
Look away.
It's like I'm not even in the room.
No, we're not looking.
I don't think I can. I'll break off a piece, not of the song, just of Elmo, and we'll judge my Elmo.
Okay.
Okay, do it.
I can't do it. No, abort. I'll bring up the comment again. Abort.
Okay, he's out. Anyway, and I know you were all asking, but what's the nerdiest thing I've done this week? It does fall a bit in line with a bit of like stage nerdiness more than like our typical nerdiness, but I auditioned for another play this week. Yeah, the last one I did went over so well that I decided to try again. And I was joined by our very own technical director, Randy Tapley, for auditions as well.
Now, but I am holding a skull.
He also joined us for the auditions, which I was blown away to see him walk in. One of his best friends is also going to be running tech for the show, so it's awesome. There's kind of a group of friends there for Randy to get out and try these things. But so we auditioned for this play called The Attic. It is a ghost story. I can't give away too many details, but I will hopefully get a recording and share that video, just like I will be sharing the video of the last play I was in eventually, as soon as Katrina's done editing it for me. Anyway, I auditioned. Randy auditioned. We auditioned for the same parts. And I got the male lead, and Randy is my understudy.
So
Yay! That's awesome.
I'm gonna be coming for him.
Yeah. So I'm fully planning to find some reason not to be able to make it for the Sunday of the show, so Randy can get up and perform in front of everybody. Justin Quick in the chat. What is up, Justin? Glad you are here. But yeah, so Randy and I got cast in the same play, and we're going to be doing it together.
Is this with River City Players as well?
It is. Yep. It is the weekend after Cape Con. So, you know, unless the whole DFPN family wants to stay a whole extra week to see the play live, I'll have to share a video with you guys. Will
you do me a favor and invite Janet Varney?
I will invite Janet Varney. Yay. You can just invite her yourself. You're going to be at the show. Just talk to her. But anyway.
The rest of them can come too. But
also, I don't know if you guys saw this, but I did a live announcement on Monday of our newest guest that we are bringing. Michaela Jill Murphy is officially signed to do the show. So Toph from Avatar The Last Airbender, Michaela Jill Murphy will be in attendance at the show. I've also got some other really exciting ones in the pipeline, but those are the confirmed. So anyway, now that we've done all of that, guys, do you want to talk about some news?
Always.
Yes.
Randy, fire those bullet points at me. Welcome to the bullet points. This week we are talking about some of, but certainly not all the news around comics, anime, TV, video games, and movies. I will lead us off with my first story from comics. After 25 years, we're revisiting the world of one of Tim Burton's fan favorite movies. Return to Sleepy Hollow is a comic book sequel to the original film, publishing under the IDW Dark banner. It is being written by Eisner Award winner Casey Gilly and the art by Savannah Meyer, and it will be on sale October 29th. This was reported by Entertainment Weekly earlier this week. I like Sleepy Hollow. I think it was a fun movie. You know, it's Johnny Depp, Christina Ricci, and Christopher Walken plays the Headless Horseman, which I, gotta love Walken. They, and he didn't talk like Walken in it, which is crazy. But
can't talk like Walken with them teeth.
Yeah, I know. He's supposed to be like a German, like non-English speaking soldier. But anyway, what do you guys think? How you feeling about that? I'm excited. My little gothic heart is happy.
It's cool that it's coming right out for spooky season.
Mm-hmm.
We rewatched that movie. I think it's been many, many years. I do love this art, though. This art looks.
It's pretty tight. Yeah, they've got some other variant covers coming out with it, but
they should not be doing that to Cardinals.
Oh, those are Ravens. Oh, those do look like Cardinals. I think you're right. I take it back.
Do we know what the sequel is going to cover exactly?
It is more stories in the world of Sleepy Hollow. I don't think it'll be about the Headless Horseman. It is just going to be more macabre stories that take place in this world where that story was possible.
Yeah, spoiler,
Oh,
but
I'm
he's just the horseman by the second one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, he's he got some head.
Spoilers. Sorry, guys.
Spoilers for a movie that's what, almost 20 years old by this point?
I got my teeth fixed.
25.
Now I sound like
25 years later, the sequel is coming out.
God damn.
Yeah,
Such a good movie. You know, that's so rewatchable too.
it
like one of
really
those
is.
You can just sit and watch it and like.
So that's what we had in comic news. Jen, what did you have for anime?
Oh my gosh, guys. Demon Slayer. Let's talk Demon Slayer. So
Let's.
July 18th, Demon Slayer slammed into 452 theaters in Japan. The total box office gross for that, so 4 days, because Monday was a holiday in Japan, they made a whopping 7.3 billion yen. So that is 49.7 million US dollars
That's a lot of money.
in just 4 freaking days. So
I guess
this is
people like
actually
anime. I don't know.
in Japan.
Everywhere.
Yeah, right. So this broke records for the best opening first day and single day performance in the Japanese box office history to date.
Wow.
All the previous records were held by the Mugen Train, which that held all the records for that. And the average rating that the reviewers are giving is 4.36 stars out of 5.
That's pretty solid.
Yeah.
I know I've only seen the like teaser trailer for it, but I'm fucking hype. I can't wait to see it myself. So it's exciting. I'm excited to see it.
Yeah, same. I mean, I've watched the trailers and everything, and I'm just, oh gosh, like Willie and I were joking. I'm like, hey, dude, we should just grab a hop, go over to Japan, watch the movie, and come back.
There you go.
There you go.
You don't have
Take
to
me.
wait.
Take me with you.
Yes, I can maybe fit in a luggage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just
Got a
poke
hard
some
case,
air holes
maybe.
for me.
He'd fit a lot better in pieces than he would whole, but
Oh, wow.
Yeah, but then it might be hard to watch the movie.
Jen, what else you got in anime?
So One Piece is going punk rock. They're wrapping up a gut-wrenching backstory of Kuma and Bonnie right now. So now they're going to be shifting gears to focus on the events on Egghead Island. With that comes a brand spanking new ending theme song. So on July 21st, it was announced on the One Piece website that the Japanese hip hop group Chameleon Lime Whoopie Pie is the name of the band. Okay.
One more time.
Chameleon Lime Whoopie Pie.
Okay. All right. Yeah. No, that's her name.
Yeah,
Those are words.
that just a lot of ones. They're going to perform the new ending theme song called Punks, and yeah, they'll release that on their website soon. So yeah, I thought that was cool.
I can't wait to see that drop. The when they dropped the new intro video for One Piece, I was like blown away. And I usually skip intro on most anime when I watch it. I like watch the intro one time just to see like what plot leaks they put in it, because they always blow like major story points whenever in the intro for whatever reason. But like that's one that I will randomly just watch every once in a while before the show starts, because it's so good. So I'm excited to see what they add to the post credits or the post show scenes.
Same. I after watching Ethan Cake Anime, or one of our sibling podcasts on DFPN, they talked a lot about intros and outros and all the songs and everything, and it kind of gave me like a new appreciation for it, because there really are a lot of good songs out there that they make for these shows, and yeah, I'm all for it. So.
Is this image that you sent me? Is this the band or the singer?
I think that's one of the members of the band.
Okay, gotcha.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
cool. That's a lot of fucking freckles.
Yeah. I hope that's not tattooed.
Oh, it could be.
Maybe.
I have no comment on that. If that's what she likes, go for it. If it makes you happy, do it. As long as it's not illegal and doesn't hurt anybody. And sometimes when it is illegal, I speed like a motherfucker.
speed bumps.
Cool.
Just-
Moving on from anime news, we will go over to television. After the success of The Penguin, DC Studios is leaning heavy into a move that didn't work for Sony at all. A Jimmy Olsen spin-off series is in the works, starring James Gunn's Superman's Skylar Gisondo. And they've made a really interesting choice for the first villain in the series. So they're adding a villain out of the Flash's Rogues Gallery, Gorilla Grodd, to be the first villain of the Jimmy Olsen spin-off series out of the Superman movie.
I'm excited for that. It should be played by Danny McBride. Because the first time I saw the guy who plays Jimmy Olsen, he's from the Righteous Gemstones. Is the first thing I saw him in.
Well,
That's why that comes to mind.
Danny McBride just backed out of being part of the Booster Gold project that they're making. So,
ooh, have you guys? So I love Smosh. I don't know if you guys have
I
seen
like
it. People
Smosh.
are pushing for Shane Top from Smosh to be Booster Gold because he's blonde. He's blonde and he's funny.
I wouldn't hate it. He just seems a little short because Booster's kind of statuesque. So, that's the only issue I have with it.
And then there's
I think he'd be
another
fine.
actress from Smosh. Her name's Angela Girottani, and I think
Uh-huh.
she should be Skeets. Is that the robot's name?
The robot.
I was like, I don't know what the robot sounds like, but she has like a manic Bobby Hill energy
Yeah.
that would be perfect for a little robot that's like sassy, I'm assuming.
Yeah. I think that post the popularity of the Penguin series being huge and winning, being nominated for a ton of awards and people loving it and all of that, I think DC is going to try to spin off a TV series from everything that they make. I know they're making a Clayface movie that's like a horror movie about the Clayface character. So they're trying to do very similar to the way that Sony tried to do a Sinister Six movie, spinning out of the Andrew Garfield Spider-Man movies. And then they, obviously very famously did Morbius, Kraven the Hunter, and Madam Web all
connects us all.
Did very, very poorly. And so I guess DC's trying to do it, but better.
It's not really, it's not a spoiler, I guess, but for Superman, I really thought that the president of country, what's the country's name?
Baravia.
I thought that was going to be Clayface.
Oh,
because he's very eccentric and oh yes, Mr. Luther, blah blah blah, and then so I really thought it was going to be revealed that was Clayface, and they didn't do it in this. I guess it still could be, but I thought that's what it was. I thought that's what they were going for, because he answers to and the new Clayface is apparently being written by Mike Flanagan. So that'd be cool.
We'll see. I mean, I know they're leaning into the various horror elements of the idea of a person who can shape change their body at will. It's interesting because, while originally introduced as kind of a scary character, Clayface has since become kind of a joke villain in the DC canon. You don't see a lot of people terrified that the horrific Clayface is coming. Batman usually beats him pretty easy. So I mean, it'll be if you think about Batman the animated series, the episode that introduced Clayface was okay, that's kind of terrifying.
Mm-hmm.
And then subsequent
Titans,
appearances after that, he's very much just Batman just throws
Harley
a freeze
Quinn
bomb
is a
at
fun
him or
show,
whatever.
but they've really really not ruined, but really made a lot of characters into jokes.
Yeah.
But at least we know with Mike Flanagan writing Clayface that they'll be played by Kate Siegel. His wife, everything he does.
Okay.
She's fantastic. I love
Moving
her so
on
much.
from TV news, Landon, what do you have in video games over on the Reload?
So I have two main stories for y'all. First off, various game companies have been pushing against the Stop Killing Games initiative. Namely, Ubisoft, which is located in Europe, has been really pushing against this. The CEO even stating that support for all games cannot last forever, which isn't what the initiative is trying to do.
Right.
It's just saying, hey, either let all the single player content be allowed to be played offline, or let fans run their own servers and don't try to make it more difficult for them to do that. So it's typical corporate trying to get as much money out of this as possible and not letting people actually own things.
Yeah, like Ubisoft is notorious for trying to nickel and dime their fans and the owners of their games. I just like for my daughter's birthday, you can download Just Dance 2025 for free, but it only comes with 2 songs. And if you want more, you got to pay for the $40 song packs a piece to get them. And then I own Just Dance 2017, and like I've purchased that, but having that saved on my PlayStation and then playing Just Dance 2025 does not unlock any songs or any content for that game where it updates or allows me to use the new user interface, which is really frustrating. But if you own 23 or 24, it does. But like that was really aggravating for me. I was like, yeah, I want to play this and it might be cool to use the new interface. And it was like, no, you gotta pay a fuck ton of money to be able to play this game.
I'd argue that could also be for issues of licensing the music, because it turns out the music industry is also a massive clusterfuck of rights ownerships and licensing and everything. It's one of the reasons we don't have Guitar Hero anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So
I prefer Rock Band anyway.
So that's not entirely on them for that, probably, but I get what you're saying still.
Look at Landon standing up for big Ubisoft.
Oh yeah.
But yes, no, you're probably correct, Landon. That does also take music rights into effect. But at the same time, like we talked about it the first time you reported this, but like when you buy a game, you should be able to play that game. Like that is a fucking no-brainer. You know, I can take this Mega Man cartridge and put it in a Game Boy and play it for the rest of my life, as long as the cartridge doesn't break. And that's how games should be. Like the fact that you can buy a game, own a game, and they stop supporting the online end of things and you can never play it again is such bullshit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we might be sounding like a broken record going on about this, but it keeps coming up, and it's one of the things that affects anybody who plays games at this point.
Yep.
Yeah. Moving on. Credit card companies have apparently pressured Valve to delist certain adult games from Steam. This was pushed on by an Australian far-right group that was in itself funded by evangelicals in the United States to try to remove certain games with certain elements from Steam.
Oh, first big question. Has Australia considered the fact that their right is our left? And so being a far right group there makes them a far left group? That's an Uno reverse card, idiots. You've got to be liberal now. Sorry, far right Australians.
You checkmated them. Holy shit.
Yeah, I know. They have to completely change their values and views on everything now.
There's some evangelicals watching now that are like, whoa.
Yeah. That's what I'll ask from now on. When people are like, well, I'm far right. Be like, well, are you
which hemisphere?
Australian far right or American far right?
Which hemisphere are you in? Actually, you're not far right.
Like, I don't know. No country exists outside of mine. Anyway, carry on.
That makes me sad that it's Australia. I like Australia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good day indeed.
They're my escape plan, but apparently I don't get to escape.
I wish my Australian friend was tuned in right now.
But yeah, the fact that Steam has been able to be pushed like this is a worrying sign. Now, for some of these games, I'm definitely like, yeah, okay, that's definitely not something I would touch with a 100-foot pole or anything like that. But also, that's like my right to choose that and say, hey, that game's not for me. That's not my cup of tea. It's another thing for these corporations to be the ones to decide that for people.
Yeah, corporate censorship is always bullshit, and also prohibition never works. If you want to keep people from being able to access these things legally, it will just put them in the hands of people willing to access them for you illegally. And people need to learn that, because it rinse and repeat. has happened over and over and over again about multiple different issues in all of history and time. And prohibition never works. You just make corrupt people more powerful with prohibition. And I'm not saying that we're going to get a mafia level powerhouse willing to deal in pornographic incest games off of Steam. I'm just saying you'll create a secondary market where bad people will make money where it could have gone to support people actually willing to do the work legally.
Can you imagine the speakeasy that has like a bunch of like it's a computer, it's like a internet cafe,
Exactly.
but it just goes from like horny games to like solitaire.
Yeah, like nude solitaire. Yeah, absolutely. I'm in.
Nude solitaire.
Yeah.
Finally, they made solitaire fun.
But it's one of those things where it's like, you know, like prohibition and
My
everything.
problem
It's
is
like
debating.
the rules for thee and not for me, because like
I mean, you can play solitaire one-handed. It works.
Yeah. I was gonna say
it's solitaire for a reason. You're by
usually
yourself.
whenever you combine
You win.
the words pornography and solitaire, I'm not talking about a card game.
You always win in solitaire.
You always win in solitaire.
If you want to get real crazy, you play spider solitaire because them spiders are thick.
Randy, you're referencing something that nobody outside of the pre-show knows, which is everyone watching right now.
Everyone knows that spiders are thick. That doesn't take a lot of context. They get it. You know.
Spiders are dummy thick.
The webbing gets
Here, I'm going to use a phrase that I learned from Landon. All caked up on a Monday and nowhere to go. That's what the spiders are.
Yeah, when you're all caked up and nowhere to go on a Monday, you boot up spider solitaire.
Calvin said, "What even is this show right now?" And Max said, "Heard the webbing gets everywhere."
Can you imagine Aunt May walking in Peter Parker's room? Why is there webbing on the ceiling? It's nothing. Aunt May, nothing. Later.
But the conclusion of the story is that now they're also going after Detroit Become Human, saying that it promotes violence against women and children, and also what?
Nothing. I kid.
And shocking absolutely no one, they are also going after GTA.
But
God.
not Call of Duty, because that's propaganda for our U.S. military, so that's fine.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Even though it's more violent, just in a more fun way, I guess.
Look, I have never killed more hookers in my life than playing GTA.
Oh, I thought you were going to say playing Call of Duty.
No. Nope.
But yeah, it's
Not
one of
what I
those
was
things
gonna
where it's
say.
like, oh no, these games are like sexual and will make you a sex pest.
I guess
Coming from like the government and upper class people is crazy.
my big question is, what's the sexual part of Detroit Becoming Human? I've never played it. Is there like full-on sex scenes in that, or is it just like?
No, there is like
should I play it or no?
Dummy thick robots.
So you do play as like an android in the game, and I think there is like some sexualization of androids in there, and like there is like scenes of domestic violence in the game, but like I don't know. Mostly it's just not evangelical version of conservative Christian ideology that just makes them want to go against it because that's their backers.
I will say that I forgot about the aspect of creating your character in Cyberpunk 2077 where you get to pick your dick size. And I was in the middle of the day in my family room with my kids all running around the house creating the character. And I got to that. I was like, oh, fuck. Biggest one going on. Moving on. Anyway. Thank you for the reload, Landon. We appreciate that. And finally, in movie news, in news harkening back to our first story, we're getting another unexpected sequel. This is Spinal Tap is getting a follow-up called Spinal Tap 2, The End, Spinal Tap 2, The End Continues. This was reported by the Wall Street Journal. Rob Reiner is coming back to direct, and the original cast of the movie is coming back, and they wrote the script for this sequel. Here is the film's official description. The Spinal Tap sequel will force bandmates David St. Hubbins, Nigel Tufnell, and Derek Smalls to play together once more after being estranged for 15 years. The sequel also marks the resurrection of documentarian Marty DeBurgi, who once again tries to capture his favorite metal gods as they contemplate mortality and the hope that their 12th drummer doesn't join them in the great beyond. Joined by music, royalty, Paul McCartney, and Elton John, Spinal Tap wrestles with their checkered past to put on a rock concert that they hope will solidify their place in the pantheon of rock and roll. Anybody have a Spinal Tap sequel in their 2025 bingo card? Because I didn't.
No.
Can you believe it's about music? Can you believe I've never watched it? I know like the basics of it, but I never watched it.
This is Spinal Tap is a spoof documentary about metal or about rock and metal bands of the 80s. That weirdly, a lot of the things they dealt with in the movie ended up coming true for other bands. Like they have a thing where they get trapped inside of I forget what it is, like a lemon or something on the stage, and they can't get out of it. That actually happened to U2, like shortly after the film came out. Like there's just a laundry list of things. But have you ever heard anybody saying
only way
like
they could get help was to download their album to everyone's iPhone?
Right. If you've ever heard the phrase "this one goes to 11," it references a point in the movie where they talk about their amps being louder because they go to 11 instead of 10 like most other amps. And the interviewer is like, "Why didn't you just make 10 louder?" And the guy's like, "Well, this one goes to 11."
That's got to be like the origin of which is heavier, steel or feathers. Have you ever seen that video?
I've not.
There's a dude where it's a skit, but like people probably thought it was real for the longest time. He's like, which is heavier, a pound of steel or a pound of feathers? And he's like, the steel. The steel is heavier. And they're like, no, a pound of each. And they put it on a scale and like show him, and he's like,
yeah,
but steel is heavier than feathers.
Yeah, no,
And
that tracks. Very much the same in the same vein. Well, anyway, CJ said Panic picks a micro in reference to my penis selection. This
I didn't follow what that was referencing.
Yeah, I hope this news didn't just graze you. This has been the bullet points. Welcome back to the show. We are skipping the 3 cuts this week. I have nothing to do a review of. I will be doing my full spoiler review of Fantastic Four First Steps next week on the show. That being said, we are introducing.
Cut?
Huh?
Sorry. Are we going to add a 4th cut?
Always 3 cuts.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. For one very specific reason.
Mm-hmm.
There's always 3 cuts.
This is the Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
It'll be what's the 3 that you do? The good, the bad, and
the good, the bad, and the aftermath.
And then the thing.
The bad, the thing is, and the aftermath.
And then that's the whole bit. That's the whole segment is. Well, the thing is, and then we move on.
So next week when Randy does the 4 cuts,
well, no, it's still 3 cuts and the thing.
Anyway, we are going to try out another in our revolving segments just to see if it works and if we enjoy it and if we'll do it again. But this one, Landon is going to present to us. So go ahead and cue the placeholder intro and we'll go into it.
Searching for new segment.
Hello. This is Media Redux, where one of us, one of the hosts of Cutting Edge Hero here, goes over a piece of media that we may have liked, but thought could be much better, or something we totally did not like at all, but we see where the promise was, and we see how it could have been good in the right hands and with the right storytelling. This week, I will be discussing Marvel Ruins. So who here knows about Marvel Ruins? Yes, Danny?
Do you want me to describe it? Is that what you're
I
asking?
mean, what do you know about it?
No, what do I know about it? I only know from when you introduced it to me several episodes back. You mentioned it, and so of course I had to look it up because I'd never heard of it. And it's basically a Marvel universe where things didn't go well for the people receiving their powers or after receiving their powers. Like it's the worst case scenario, basically Marvel universe for the heroes.
Pretty much. The main driving theme of Marvel Ruins was, and I'm going to try my hardest not to say Marvel Rivals, but I'm going to
Right
say
there.
you
got two. It's an MR. Like, what are you going to do?
The main idea of Marvel Ruins is Murphy's Law. Whatever can go bad will go bad.
So
CJ.
CJ says, so like the Thing, instead of being rock hard, is disappointingly flaccid.
In a way, shockingly, yes.
Cotton balls.
Oh shit!
So Marvel Ruins is actually a parody of another Marvel property called The Marvels. It was essentially just a tour of the Marvel universe from a average Joe perspective. You follow a reporter, Phil Sheldon, as he just witnesses all the events in Marvel history. Like he sees the Fantastic Four fighting villains and things along those lines. And you see how he's just like amazed at it all. Well, Marvel Ruins was meant to parody this in that you still follow Phil Sheldon, but the world is just wrong. Various heroes either didn't get their powers or got their powers wrong or are sick, twisted versions of themselves. Like, for example, Bruce Banner, whenever he is hit with this blast of gamma radiation that normally turns him into the Hulk, turns him into a living pile of tumors instead.
Ooh.
Like, he is grotesque. He is horribly mutated, but he is still alive. And that is like the worst part of it. And like, you know, that kind of makes sense in like a world where there's still superheroes and where superhero logic still exists, but it's just the worst case scenario. That kind of tracks with the logic of the universe. Another example of this is
He is fucking killing me. He said so. He becomes the world's strongest chemo patient.
No, he becomes chemo's greatest challenge. But
I'm just imagining Bender from Futurama when he becomes human. You just push on him, and like he dies, and you push on him, and he's like so overweight, he just goes woo.
Yeah, that's a great episode of Futurama.
Mm-hmm.
It is.
Another example of this is whenever we finally meet Magneto. He's like a protester for Professor X, against Professor X, who is president in this universe.
Ooh.
And we don't know he's Magneto at the time. He has a long beard. He looks like a hippie kind of, but like he's wearing this device on him that goes all throughout his body. And they mistake it for a bomb because, you know, it's strapped to him. They think it's a bomb vest. So they push him and try to like restrain him, and they accidentally damage it. And it turns out that Magneto can't control his powers. He just does not have that ability. And that thing is what like prevented his powers from going haywire. So all of a sudden, all the metal items in the area around just get pulled in on him. And it causes a ton of damage, kills several people. And like all this, it sounds good. It sounds like, oh yeah, like
that sounds great.
Story-wise and world building, it sounds good. It's very effective. The real problem with Marvel Ruins is that it changes characters' personalities drastically. We hear about what happened to Bruce Banner from Rick Jones. You know, he's the one that Bruce saved, and he's the one who got a first-person view of Bruce turning into the tumor Hulk that he became. And he is now like an addict. The event like torments him. It was horrifying for him. So he's naturally just like, okay, it fucked him up. And he's living in squalor. And it's horrifying. It's displayed as horrifying. And it's one of the few times a character change actually makes sense. Because immediately after this, we meet Nick Fury, who's just a psychopath. He tries killing Sheldon before casually telling him that he experimented with cannibalism with Captain America during World War II.
Wait. Like he ate a piece of Captain America, or they did it?
Captain America introduced him to cannibalism in World War II.
I had the same question.
Okay.
Yeah, it didn't register in my mind, but that is a very valid, good question.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Phrased weird.
That's why Jen's the taco to my quesadilla.
Taco.
Yeah. But yeah, he just casually drops, oh yeah, me and Captain America did cannibalism during the war. And then Jean Grey pops up. She's a sex worker in this universe. Propositions them. And then Nick Fury just shoots her point blank before shooting himself.
Okay.
Yeah.
So is she just like normal Jean Grey, or is she like full Phoenix? Like, you boys want to have some fun tonight? I am a cosmic entity, and then just gets shot.
Regular Jean Grey.
I was going to say the shooting her wouldn't have worked if she was the Phoenix.
You don't know that.
I
In
mean,
this
I guess
world?
it is an alternate universe. So
I
Nick
mean-
Fury shoots a hooker and then kills himself.
Yes.
Were they just like, I don't know where to go with this character. Here's what I'm going to
why
write.
We have to
Yep.
ban GTA. This is what
This is
happens.
why we have to ban GTA.
That's
Teenager.
you get to the end of this comic, and it turns out that it is because GTA was released into the Marvel universe.
Mm-hmm.
The 616 universe got GTA 5, and Nick Fury kills a prostitute, and the Hulk turns into tumors.
Yes.
I haven't played GTA 5, but I'm pretty sure that's how it would go.
That's exactly it, Randy. You got it perfectly. But yeah, that is never explained. Whereas with Rick Jones, it is explained somewhat. With Nick Fury, not at all. With most other characters, it's not explained at all why they are the way they are.
So is Sheldon like part of this universe, or is he like an observer? Like, does he know things are weird?
He is part of the universe, but like there's this through line with every character he meets of them being like, yeah, this whole world isn't right. Like it feels like this isn't how things should be.
I feel that way right now in our actual reality.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But like they're all just sort of like, that's the world we live in though, so it's what we gotta deal with.
Yeah, Nick Fury threatening to kill a reporter feels too close to reality.
Yeah.
And the cannibalism didn't really help either, but I don't know that we're there just yet.
It's not off the table though.
Mm-hmm.
Still a possibility.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Drop the Epstein list. Let's see. Cannibalism might be on there.
Nick Fury's on
We're
it. Oh,
waiting.
no.
Where was I? Oh yeah. Professor X might actually be the worst example of.
Oh, he's on the list for sure.
Oh yeah.
Mm.
What?
We all
In the-
know he's on the list.
In this universe, it's called the Xavier list. Let's be real.
Oh
God.
my god.
He has a school for gifted youngsters. You don't call it youngsters.
Hot take. I don't like where this is going.
It's cute until there's a list about you. Then it becomes less cute.
That's how he lost the ability to walk.
Xavier School for okay. Sorry. That took me a minute. I mean, like, think of it in this context. Xavier School for Gifted Youngsters. Epstein School for Gifted Youngsters.
No.
See how it-
No.
Take it back.
See
No,
how
I
it
don't.
can- see how it can go so wrong so fast.
I don't like it. I've got a I've got a diploma from Xavier School for Gifted Youngsters.
Good thing it's Xavier's.
I don't like it.
Which
You know
Xavier,
what?
though?
You know,
Sorry.
Anyway.
PJ said we're all going to get canceled.
Unless
Yeah.
Steve Colbert.
Have you really made it until you've been canceled?
No.
I don't know. I've always said it's when we get the cease and desist letter, but maybe it's being canceled.
I don't think.
Oh my God, CJ, no. Just no.
Anyway, Professor X is president.
Yep.
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 Yeah,
A great segue from that.
part of it.
No connections at all. And like some of the X-Men still work for him. Angel is the only one we know for sure. But most of the other X-Men are put into a prison that is run by Wilson Fisk. And they have all undergone some sort of surgery or something else to remove their powers.
Ooh.
Is this jail in Florida?
I think it's actually Texas.
Nah, that's we're close.
Getting worse by the minute.
Yeah.
What Earth is this? Can you
I don't-
Google? Is there a Phil Sheldon in our universe?
There's a Phil Sheldon in the original Marvel universe. I don't know about ours. Hopefully not.
It's Earth
There's
617.
at least one out there. Let me see if I can find him on Facebook. Carry on.
Anyway, yeah, Wilson, they all undergone like some sort of surgery or something, or to get rid of their powers or died. Scott had both his eyes removed. Quicksilver had his arms and legs amputated. Kitty Pryde
Why
just
his
died
arms?
because he can still use speed with his arms.
Mhm.
He uses speed with his whole body, but arms are something you can use to
But they
manipulate
stopped at
things.
arms and legs, huh?
Yep. And Kitty Pryde died when she tried to phase through the bars and ended up unphasing halfway through.
It just did it real bad. She sneezed. That one was on her, honestly.
I mean, yeah, if it's Murphy's Law, I guess that's maybe one of the worst things that can happen to Kitty.
Yeah. And like the thing is, during this section, Wilson Fisk does point out for like Quicksilver being like, yeah, we had to do that to stop him from hurting himself with his quick powers. With his speed powers, and like he says it with like this grotesque sense of like sadistic enjoyment, but also with how the powers occur in this world, he might also be telling the truth that like, yeah, that was possibly the only way to stop him from hurting himself with his super speed.
Yeah,
that
Maybe
doesn't make
wasn't
it
the
any
only way, but this was the easiest way.
Maybe, or maybe it really was the only way. It's the world where everything is the worst possible version and worst possible outcome you can imagine.
Leaning into lobotomies being a mental health procedure at one point in the United States, I can see it.
Yeah,
I can see that being the like, we don't know what else to do with this. Let's just cut his arms and legs off. Probably have an amputation mobile.
Fix that.
But apparently, Professor X does visit this prison every so often, according to Fisk. Sometimes he comes just to stare sadly at everyone. Other times he comes and he, man, you know what? This really lines up with everything.
For new merch ideas?
So,
oh no.
He does whip out his dick and say, look at this. You all came from this. So, yeah.
Is he still like psychic telepath mutant?
I think so.
Why does he have to go there then? He could just do that from the White House.
I don't know. Maybe he likes doing it in person.
I know travel logistics is probably not like the most egregious thing in that, but
I would go so far as to say if that ability exists, the prison would probably have something to block it. So he has to go there physically.
okay.
Maybe.
But I don't know.
The point of this is to say, like, it goes far into like edgelord world design, and also like
who wrote this? Garth Ennis.
Yeah, but also like, of course, the world would be much worse if all the heroes had the worst possible personalities. If they were completely different characters, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I think it would be a lot more interesting if like story beats just happened to turn out in a much worse way, but had the same characters with the same personality traits try to deal with that instead of it just being a full, oh yeah, they're also terrible too. So the story doesn't go right in any fashion.
Yeah, I could see that. Like if it was a CJ said this feels a little bit feels a bit Neonomicron to me. I could see it being more interesting if it's not so fucking scuzzy, and that seems to be kind of the way it played out.
Yeah, it goes over the edge. It goes too far.
I would say I have the wiki pulled up, and there's so much cannibalism. Like it says, Bucky Barnes, Jack Monroe, and Victor Creed are part of fascist cannibalistic militia from Oklahoma.
Oklahoma.
Yeah, but like fascist militia is probably like enough, but they also eat people.
Yeah. It's a real hat on a hat situation with explaining how bad things are.
Like it says, Warren Worthington, which is Angel, serves Professor X in exchange for keeping his mutant nature a secret. That feels kind of on the money for like that. Seems like that's a good like little. He wants to be a little closeted mutant, and that's kind of is that how he is in the comics? So I know in like X-Men 3, which that's not a great example. His dad wants him to keep it a secret.
So yeah, in the comics,
even though I don't understand Angel because his power is straight up like Angel of any mutant. Wouldn't the like conservative Christian fan base like love him specifically? Answer -A.
Yes, there has been previous Marvel stories featuring Angel where they lean into the religious aspect of it being an actual angel, or at least people thinking that based on his appearance. But you have to remember that when the X-Men were introduced, they were an analog for the civil rights movement, and they were a metaphor for the experience that African American people were experiencing in the United States. And so there was prejudice against Angel having angel wings, and he did have to hide the fact. And his parents knew, and they were rich society types, and they forced him to hide his wings and try to pretend that he was a normal person. And the only time he was allowed to let them out and fly and be free was when
he was on missions with the X-Men. If you remember from the early days of the comics, he wore a special belt around his chest and wings to hold them down so he could wear a regular suit coat over the top of them. So yes.
Okay. So yeah, first part of how to make Marvel Ruins better, just keep characters more consistent with how they are and don't change like how they are personality wise, and don't necessarily change too much of that without explanation. If you can explain why somebody is the way they are, how past events changed them to be what they are, then yeah, by all means, go right ahead. That's always an interesting story of how A led to B. The problem is that they don't explain any of that with any of these characters besides Rick Jones. Like, it just is, yep, they're fucked up now. Moving on.
Well, you know what it reminds me of? It kind of reminds me of them just like taking your source material and just fucking it up when you should have just did something new and created your own characters instead of just taking Marvel characters and just changing things so completely. Like, why didn't you just do something else?
I agree with you on that, but the point of this was to be a parody of Marvel. It is a Marvel comic that's meant to parody another Marvel comic. Do I think it's parodied well? No. But yeah. Point 2 on how to make this Marvel Ruins less bad. They should have focused on how the world became this way, like I was talking about a second ago. One of the few times we get hinted on how events got changed within the Marvel universe is when Phil Sheldon meets Ben Grimm. So Ben, when we do meet him, isn't the Thing. He's still like a normal human man. He seems to be living an okay life, but he tells Phil about how Reed Richards had approached him to fly the spaceship that would have created the Fantastic Four. But Ben decided not to do it over safety concerns. So Victor Von Doom flew instead. Ooh. And the rest of the Fantastic Four and Doom all died on the ship. And whenever Ben tells about this story to Phil Sheldon, he's like, yeah, I clearly made the right decision. I didn't die. I knew it was dangerous and they didn't listen to me. But I can't help but feel like if I was there, then things would have gone differently. That I don't know how that would have happened because it was a giant storm. I don't think I would have been able to handle that, or a giant space anomaly. I don't think I would have been able to handle that, but I just have this deep sinking feeling that it would have been different if I had flown. And it's one of those few times we do see that, like, oh yeah, this is how the events of Marvel changed. Ben didn't fly, so the Fantastic Four never happened, and they all died instead. And it's interesting. It's honestly kind of touching seeing Ben, like, grieve his friends and have, like, this dual emotions about the whole thing of, like, they didn't listen to me. It's not on me. I tried telling them, but also I could have been different if I was there. It's really good.
It is interesting to flip that, like, haunted and pained Ben Grimm, who did go on the mission and is unhappy with the fact that he ended up looking like a crazy orange rock creature, while everyone else ended up being a sexier version of themselves with new abilities, and flip that on his head where he instead didn't go and lives with the trauma of not being there.
Mm-hmm.
And did they give you any, like, inclination why they would take and give some characters extra love where other ones were kind of done wrong, basically?
And also to answer her question, but also I have a question: is that the catalyst of why this is this worst universe? Is that Ben didn't go on the Fantastic Four mission?
Some people theorize that, like, oh yeah, this is the moment that, like, caused the domino effect of everything else happening, but it's never outright stated. Marvel Ruins is only 2 issues long, and I don't think they're that long of issues at that.
Yeah.
I do think, I think that, like, expanding this out would make it better, and, like, you know, like, not being like, oh, I'm gonna go talk to this guy, oh, he shot himself and someone else, and then I'm gonna go talk to this person and they die and this person's really sad. To have, like, that, like, if that's the inciting incident, to be like, follow that from there, and, like, how, like, the Fantastic Four dying rippled into Professor Xavier whipping his dick out in a mutant prison, like, as president. Like, that's a interesting, if you tell me that, like, oh, the Fantastic Four die because Ben Grimm wasn't the pilot, President Professor Xavier whips his dick out to I removed Cyclops in prison. That's an interest. I want to know what happens in between those bookmarks.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's what's interesting about this. And they do hint at it, but they never actually go into detail. And that's because of the parody nature of Marvel Ruins. The Marvels, which it is parodying, was just like a sightseeing tour of the Marvel Universe, being like, oh, hey, here's what it's like to be a average citizen seeing Spider-Man go through Manhattan, or hearing a news story about the Avengers taking down someone. This is what it's like to live in this world and be just a regular person, and how amazing it is to see all these things. But the problem with that, but that works because we know who Johnny Storm is. We know who the Fantastic Four are. We know who the Avengers are. We know who Professor X is and who the X-Men are. We don't know who this Professor X is. So if we hear about him doing something awful, then we don't know how that came to be. Whereas we hear about the amazing things Professor X and the X-Men do in the main universe, we know, oh yeah, we know their reasonings, their motivations, their backstories, why they came to be the way they are, and why they're heroes. Here, it's just watching the world be fucked up for no reason.
It is Wolverine. First off, Jen's question: are some characters given more love than others? And then also, is Wolverine featured in this at all?
Yes, he's actually one of the first ones we see. We just find him in a bar. He's just drinking his sorrows away, and it's shown that like his regeneration powers are just not strong enough to keep up with adamantium poisoning. So he is rotting, but very slowly. Yeah.
So, have any of you guys ever read Earth X?
No.
So after DC did Kingdom Come, which is the story of the end of the DC universe, where Superman and Wonder Woman and Batman, they're all the angels of the apocalypse, and they live through the apocalypse from the Book of Genesis. And Alex Ross hand painted all of the art for it. It's a huge deal. It's beloved. The Superman symbol that you see in the new Superman movie. Actually, I have the leather bound. Hold on. The Superman symbol that you see in the new Superman movie with James Gunn is from Kingdom Come and is the Alex Ross version of Superman. And here's some of the art from it. I don't know if you can see, but it's hand painted art that Alex Ross did for this. And after the popularity of Kingdom Come, Marvel wanted to do their own version of this. So they hired Alex Ross and another guy and Jim Kruger to create a story that was within the Marvel universe that told a similar story to Universe X. And Captain America is like the linchpin of the story. He's older. He's carved the A into his forehead instead of it being like a mask. Like he just has an A scar on his forehead. But it tells a like older version of most of the Marvel universe, and it's very good. It's interesting, but I've always been bothered by the portrayal of Wolverine in that. So if you're not familiar, let me see if I can get it without the glare. That's Wolverine, the mostly bald fat guy to the side of this, wearing the I'm with stupid shirt.
Similar thing where I would be upset if that guy called me bub.
He has completely stopped doing anything with his time. He doesn't work out. He's very like he looks like he hits his wife, like just the way they drew it. You can tell that they don't really care for Wolverine whenever they wrote this story. And so they tell this whole story where like Cyclops is still active and Captain America is still active and Daredevil's still active. And there's just all these different versions of Marvel heroes and they're still cool. And they're still kicking ass. And then you just have Wolverine sitting in a tiny little apartment, drinking beer, mistreating his wife, who is supposed to be Jean Grey. And then you find out at the end of the story that Jean Grey has been fine and doing great things this whole time. And his wife is actually Madeline Pryor, who's just been pretending to be Jean Grey the whole time. And they do this like bait and switch by the end of the story. And it's like the worst fucking version of Wolverine.
She's still the Goblin Queen, but he just calls her that in a mean way.
It seems like this is what they did to Wolverine in this is like that, what that whole world is. And it was so disliked that in the subsequent sequel series, Universe X 1 and 2, they brought Old Man Logan from the Old Man Logan storyline into this universe to be their Wolverine, while the fat, gross Wolverine was still existent. So there'd be a good Wolverine in there since they did such a bad job with him in the original Earth X. But that seems to me like this Wolverine belongs in the Marvel Ruins universe and not the Earth X universe.
They just don't. They just really did not like Wolverine at times, it seems.
Yeah.
I like CJ Lovelady's interpretation of it. His name is Ferret. He's a drag queen in Vegas, and his regeneration factor only works on his asshole.
He'd be rich.
It's honestly the only happy part of Ruins. He's got his stuff figured out.
Yeah. But yeah, like I was, like y'all were talking about, Randy and everyone. It's much more interesting to see like how A led to B, how the Fantastic Four led to Professor X whipping his dick out. Is a much more interesting story than just going through and being like, oh, hey, that's Johnny Blaze. He poured a gasoline on himself and set himself on fire as he drove into the desert. Ain't that fucked up? Moving on. It's they really just need to like slow down and actually ask the hows and the whys of this thing.
It seems like they had this concept and they were hoping to get a big, probably one issue per hero run. And Marvel was like, we'll give you 2 single issues. And they're like, okay, how do we pack all this into one 2-issue run?
Well, like I said, it's meant to. They focus too much on parodying the structure of the Marvels as well, because that is just like a, oh, hey, look at this hero. Aren't they awesome? You know them. And here's what it's like. Moving on. So they try to keep that form while also skipping out on all the actual interesting stuff that we would like to know from this universe.
It feels like, like I think it says it was 95.
Yes.
It feels like a 90s era thing in comics to be like, let's do this thing and make it mean. Because like it's a parody, but it's mean because like spoilers, but it looks like Sheldon, our point of view character, dies at the end.
Yeah.
Oof.
And it said like, so this is what it says. The virus kills Sheldon and he is ignored by passersby as his notes scatter in the wind.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, that's just like, I get it to have like him die because this is a dark universe, but just like it's very not even noir, like grim dark.
Yeah, it's edgy. Mm-hmm. That's the long and short of it. Honestly, like oh, sorry, go on.
No, I was just thinking the edgy line. Like me personally, I probably would have gone more horror. Like if you're gonna do a parody and you have all these dark themes going on, like just make it horror. Mm-hmm. Just go straight horror. Like just go there.
It seems like somebody that had like a real bad case of like Mean World syndrome, and they were like, everything's bad and the world's bad and everyone hates everybody and we're all gonna die, and I put my cigarettes out on my own skin because I want
something.
It seems like and I assumed this was like early 2000s, but then it's 90s. Like, yeah, I get it. Everything was dark and edgy and hardcore in the 90s. It makes sense. It was some things were just bad for bad sake. Like,
yeah. Honestly, like in analyzing what specific parts of Marvel Ruins I thought didn't work, I kind of realized that there's another comic series out there that kind of fixes a lot of the flaws in this, in showing a much darker world where everything goes wrong. And that's the Flashpoint. And because Flash does go back, save his mom, and the universe he's in, everything's worse than what it was in the universe he was in. Bruce Banner dies instead, and his dad's Batman, and he's darker, meaner, uses guns. Superman ends up in the hands of a bunch of scientists when he's an infant and gets tested on in a lab. Atlantis and the Amazonians are invading various countries in the world. It is like a much darker, much grittier story than what the main line is. But the reason why Flashpoint works is because we have Barry Allen looking at everything and being like, wait, that's not how this should be. That's not how this should be. What happened? And we find out what happened. It's not just a darker, edgier Batman just for the sake of being darker and edgier. It's like, oh, it's darker and edgier Batman because he went through a trauma of his own different from Bruce's, and he was already used to certain concepts like guns and stuff like that, so he didn't like cast them off like Bruce did when he was a kid. And like we know this and that, and it also doesn't go over the edge like Ruins does. It doesn't quite push the envelope to the point of bursting.
Mm-hmm. Like
Yeah.
it seems more like Flashpoint seems to follow more like logic of like because this happened.
Yes.
Whereas
exactly.
like and I understand like their powers are messed up, but like why did like like the Thing not being the pilot like makes sense. Like, oh, he wasn't there to get them out of that, so they just got obliterated by the cosmic storm or whatever. But like Bruce Banner got hit by the radiation and turned into a monster, like a mass of tumors rather than the Hulk.
Mhm.
Why is that
Yeah.
the case? Like and it says like Raven Darkholm has dissociative identity disorder because she shapeshifts too much, and then she loses control of her shapeshifting powers. That's a cool story. Why is that the case? Is that just how her powers work? Like that,
in comparison
like you said,
to the
it's
original, yeah.
lacking like.
I felt the same way about the Wolverine thing. It's like, and he's my favorite superhero, so of course I'm going to dwell on that. But, in this world, it's like, here's the world, and here's Wolverine with Wolverine's abilities, but his healing factor doesn't work as well. Why? What's the reason? Like, why is he dying from adamantium poison? Why isn't his healing factor as strong as it is in the main 616? Because if the conjecture of it is just this is worst case scenario for everybody, there should be a worst case scenario for Wolverine than exactly what he is in the comics.
I mean, are they trying to say that cosmic anomaly caused all the mutations on Earth and it just didn't happen the same way? I'm wondering.
We don't know. Like that's the thing people have been asking.
And then like the meanness thing too. It's like, okay, Scott Summers was blinded in order to control his eye beams. Gotcha. Nobody cared enough to like figure out the red quartz thing. But then Kitty Pryde died attempting to phase through the bars, only to become stuck. Why? What was her power that like didn't work as well that she couldn't phase through the bars fully? Like, you know what I mean? Like that. And then like, oh, we had to cut off Quicksilver's legs and arms. Okay, like because you just kept shaking so fast. How'd you cut them off when they were shaking
it's really
so
confusing
fast?
because it's like everybody has their abilities, but some of them are weaker.
And then like this one says Kurt Wagner,
but like no explanation why.
Kurt Wagner is self-cannibalizing. Why?
Well,
he can teleport. Why he eating himself? Why he hungry?
Yeah, that's the thing. Like my two main points for how to make if we were to redo Marvel Ruins, if we were to try rewriting it and giving it another go, the two main points I would say is don't change character personalities to the point they're unrecognizable unless you explain them.
Yeah.
And two, don't just show something and be like, oh, that's crazy. Actually explain how things happen. That's the main point. Explain things. Don't just shock and awe. Explain how things came to be.
Yeah.
Like Jean Grey being a prostitute. Like she comes from a low income family. If she like gets ousted by them, I guess for being a mutant. But like I could see that being like a dark, but like that's me inferring that.
Yeah.
She's got red hair and daddy issues.
In the comics,
prostitute.
in the comics, I'm a prostitute. You boys want anything? And then gets shot. And it's like, oh, okay. Why did you do that? Oh, you shot yourself too. So now we don't know why you did it either. Like,
that's really like
that's weird. And that's
they
just
phoned
me.
that one in
and
for
then there's
sure.
a thing where it says leaving the apartment where these two people just shot each other. Sheldon trips over a corpse of the Punisher in the snow.
Why is the Punisher dead? We don't know.
Why is the Punisher dead? Why is the Punisher dead there?
He fucked with the mafia, probably, but
yeah. But again, like inferences. So yeah, like why? Like just showing the concept, showing like the sequence of events would make this way more interesting to me.
Yeah, it's the epitome of edge for edge's sake. But yeah, that's all I have to say about Marvel Ruins. Just explain why the world is the way it is instead of just showing it.
I think I would have liked seeing them have like I was mentioning to you guys, like seeing like a twist on their powers instead of just like total fuckery that they did.
Mhm.
You know, like I like the whole idea behind like, you know, Bruce, like he turns into a huge tumor, or like, you know, maybe Professor X, instead of like having mental powers, like, you know, is a little bit more like psychotic. It would make more sense, like it would drive him insane.
Yeah.
Or, you know,
The the thing that kills Phil that kills Sheldon, that at the end of the second comic, it is a disease that Peter Parker got whenever he was bitten by the radioactive spider. He accidentally spread it all throughout the Daily Bugle after he was bitten, and it is apparently spreading across America over the course of the two books.
Mm.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
this is backtracking to the off-air talk we were having, but about Spider-Man just having a dummy thick dump truck instead of spider powers. That's now I'm imagining this is what would improve this ruins is that's what the virus does. So when you see Sheldon dead, being ignored by passerbys as his notes scatter to the wind, it's just he's just ass up, dummy thick. and there's just reports of people getting sick all across America. And the main thing is they're like, your butt's looking big today, and they're like, oh dear God, no. I washed my hands.
So this has been Media Redux.
This has been Media Redux. What do you all think of my proposed changes to Marvel Ruins? Good?
Yeah.
Bad?
I think they would have definitely improved this. They probably would have gotten a 12-issue run if they'd have done what you said.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We'd be all sitting around talking about how good it is.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe.
How thick everyone is.
How thick everyone is.
Randy, do the thing.
Searching for new segment.
So that does it for this week. Next week, let's see, what's today? The 23rd. Let's see. Jen, how about you come up with a segment for next week?
Okay.
Okay. Next week, Jen will be proposing a segment. Do not miss our coverage, our full spoiler review of Fantastic Four First Steps. And we will also be back with the hit list and, I don't know, some other fun stuff. So check it out. Thank you guys so much for being here. Thanks for jumping in the comments. Thanks for sharing all the nerdy shit you did this week. And thank you for supporting the show and being here for it. Randy, you want to say anything to the nice people?
Thanks for being here. It's been fun. Thank you for letting me rant about thick Spider-Man and such.
Jen, you got
universe.
Oh, Jen, you got anything you want to say?
No, thanks everybody for showing up. I enjoy this immensely every week, so please return.
Landy, you want to play us out?
Just like always, thank you all for coming in, talking in the chat, watching the show. We would just be talking to nobody without you all here. So it really is, you all are the part that makes this an actual show. And hopefully me ranting about Marvel Rivals for like 40 minutes. What?
Ruins.
Marvel Ruins for 40 minutes.
I think that was the first time you
It was
throughout that whole thing.
Damn it! I tripped at the finish line. Get us out of here.
Okay. Well, for all of us here at Cutting Edge Hero, you guys have been great, and we've been Cutting Edge Hero.
Peace.
See y'all.